So I thought I'd do a track breakdown about the jam I released earlier in the week because I really like the way it turned out and there's some interesting things going on. So let's just get right into it and we'll start with the drums. The drums are quite unusual because when I first sat down I wanted to do something in a different time signature. The finished track actually ends up in 4/4, but the drums have an unusual pattern. The way it loops is quite strange, but you don't actually notice in the finished track. I've got the DLD set up with two slightly different delay times. So here's the left channel. And the right channel. And let's put them both together. Also, I mean, this is quite a busy drum beat, but I'm going to bring in the data bender as well to get some rolls happening. And this is a really fun technique for just getting interesting drums. And you can even, you know, bring in some saturation. Oh man. And start using the hold functions. Bring in some of the bend. So yeah, that's just a cool thing to do. I don't actually do that in this track. So let's go back to the simple drums and then have a listen to the simple chords. So I'm literally just doing 2 chords for the whole track. Same with the drums don't change for the whole track. And that's why I'm using a lot of different techniques to actually make this track interesting. So that's the kind of basic setup. And then for like the kind of first change in the track is actually me singing, which I'm not going to do now, but you know, just put as much reverb as you can on your track, on your vocals, and it will sound alright, hopefully. And after the singing, I did bring in some strings and I made the strings sort of imitate the vocal melody. So let's have a listen. This string sound that string sound came from Spitfire Audio Labs, which is a free sample library that you can download. It's really good quality, it's free, and you can put it into your OP1 and have like such beautiful strings. So after the sort of string interlude, I wanted to come back into another verse, a sort of singing verse, but I didn't want to go straight into it. I wanted something in between it just to add variety. And that brings me to, you probably noticed I've got a DJ filter on the effects aid, which is such a good tool. and I'm going to use the freeze function on the data bender as well. So I'll play the string melody and then activate. And I thought that was a really interesting way to just keep the sort of listener interested, because you're kind of filling up the space and then you're bringing it back down to being quite, I don't want to say empty because those drums are really full, but you know, spacious, making it spacious. So after the second verse of singing, I'm going to bring the strings in again, but I wanted to again add more variety. So what I did was played one note of strings and then kind of froze the sound and made a build up going into the string melody. So I'll show you how that works. So we're getting towards the end of the track now, and in the last section I brought up some of the bend just to add more variation to the drums, and I brought the break knob up a bit as well to get some like kind of rolls happening. And then for the end of the track, I decided to take the drums out completely. Just leaving the chords, but I did bring some reverb up just to make it more epic. And then I kind of finished with a classic fade out, just using the OP1 volume switch. So yeah. Once I think I did it in maybe a few takes, maybe it took like 3 takes. Then I headed over to Ableton just to do some EQing and compression and to try and sort my voice out. So let's head over to the computer now and we can check out some processing. Okay, so we're in the box. I'm going to drag an EQ onto the track here. When you record a full track, like a full mix onto one track, you can quite often find some like really sharp frequencies or muddy, especially in the sort of low end. So I will often just scan through. If you find anything offensive, just bring it down a little bit. Sometimes like to just scoop a little bit out of the low mids and kind of emphasize the kick. Just do it before and after. I do think that sounds a bit cleaner. So there's not too much going on in this track. I've also got the Valve compressor on, which adds a bit of lo-fi, some compression, a bit of wobble if you want it. Because you know the effects aid today was on filtering duties, so it couldn't do the lo-fi thing, so this adds some of that. This compressor from Arturia just to try and tame those drum levels a little bit. And then lastly I've got this EQ here which cuts the low end out and it just kicks in at the end. When the drums kick out there's so much reverb that it was like really intensely low. Kind of rumblingly low, so I just brought that in to tidy up the transition into the end. It just made it a bit more smoother. I probably wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't done it, but I think it sounds nice. The vocals, there's not much going on, just lots of EQ and reverb and compression. I'm using this CLA. Let's bring it back. Which, as you can hear, really lifts it and gives it a lot of character. And I've got a send effect here, which is the Supermassive from Valhalla. This is a free effect, a free VST. It's really nice. I would really recommend just going and getting it. But other than that, I didn't do too much. I then rendered it and popped it into Isotope Ozone and used the Master Assistant, and it didn't actually change very much. It just boosted the levels, it boosted the high end a tiny bit. So that was all I did, not too much. So let me know if you enjoy these track breakdowns. I quite like doing them, so maybe I'll do a few more. And thank you to everyone who's been watching and commenting. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you next time. Take it easy.